Hello and welcome to the new video. If this is your first time here, my name is Hannah and today I'll be reading books from my Self-destruct trolley. Hi, hello, I hope you are well. I hope you're doing well. I hope you're reading some good books. This is episode 4 of my self-destructing books. I can't remember how many books I've read in the last episode, but we started with 25 books at the beginning of the year, and currently I have, there's not a lot of space here, so we've got 5 and 2, that's 7 and 2, that's 9 and 2, that's 11 books. So I've already read 14 books from my self-destructing books trolley. We're heading towards the halfway point in a year, so it's nice to know that I've actually read more than half of the books that I had on this trolley. Let me see what I have. Let me move this camera because I actually don't know what I want to read. There's not much choice here, to be honest, because I think most of the stuff that I have left here is a romance, so I guess I'm in the mood for romance. I have whole Chestnut Spring series here, which I don't think I'm gonna read in this episode because it's 5 books and I would like to read them in one episode, so that's definitely a no. What else do I have? I have The Mysterious Case of the Alperton Angels, which I'm not really in a mood for. It would be a quick read because it's a lot of like interviews and mixed media and stuff like that. So it could be a quick read, but I don't know if I want to read this. What else? Oh, I also have this, The Diary of a CEO. And by Stephen Bartlett, and it's a non-fiction. I don't know, I bought this book because I used to listen to his podcast, and that book came out and I kind of like recognized the name, and I was like, yeah, okay. Oh my god, I'll be yawning because I'm tired. Gym was tiring. Right, and then I have this series as well, 3 books, but I've read one of them. I've read this one and it was okay, so I have 2 left, so these 2, that would be an option. Okay, so there's not much choice actually, because I've read most of the book, well, more than 50%. And then I have Mia Sheridan. I've got Finding Eden and Becoming Colder, and I think it's a duology. Which one do I read first? Right, so I would have to figure it out. Hold on, let me see. I feel like Lucy's Score, okay, as much as like I didn't hate book 1, I think these are so long for a romance book. Who needs a 600-page romance? Nah. Yeah, both of them, nearly 600 pages. I don't know if I want to read that. Maybe if I find an audiobook, then maybe I'll read that as an audiobook. Okay, so I know, okay, let me move them to the top because these are an option if I find an audiobook. Oh my god, I need to tidy up this trolley. There's so much crap on here. Definitely not reading Elsie Silver because it would be a whole entire series on its own. Okay, so I think I just need to see which one is first, but I think I'm gonna start reading one of these, Finding Eden or Becoming Colder, because I think the last book that I've read from Mia Sheridan, Grayson's Vow, I actually really enjoyed. So, and they're also short, they're not too long, so it could be a quick read. Okay, so it says here at the back, to be continued in Finding Eden, which means this is the first book. So I guess I will be starting this episode with Becoming Colder by Mia Sheridan. I'm sorry if the camera is struggling with focus, but I think it's because it's so dark in here. But yeah, unfortunately my book trolley lives here. So what is this? The light of love has always found its way into even the darkest of places, from the beginning of time to the end of the world. Calder and Eden were never meant to be friends, certainly never meant to fall in love. Even in Arcadia, you walk beside me still. Have you been waiting long for me? If you know, you know. It kind of brings that to mind. But I know it's Arcadia. If you didn't know, I'm a huge Sleep Token fan. So there you go, the performance of the day. So this is what we're starting this episode with, Becoming Colder by Mia Sheridan. Good luck. I hope I will enjoy this. Sounds a bit coldish. I don't know. We shall see.
What's it like to be the one that he turns to when he's out of answers? What's it like to be the one that he comes to when he wants to dance? And I wonder what's that like? I have got him on my mind, but he doesn't know my name, and I'm running out of time. I wish you felt the same, and I'm acting
So I'm about 160, well, not about, I'm 160 pages into the book. I've read 11 chapters of Becoming Colder, and this is kind of like a new adult, young adult story, because we follow these two characters. Currently they're about like 17, 18. I don't know if we're gonna go into the times when they're slightly older, because we kind of started when they were about like 10, 11. And this is a book about cult, so there is this kind of like this settlement of people led by this guy Hector, and he believes that only him and a certain chosen ones will go to heaven or something like this when the big flood comes, and they kind of live off everything that the earth gives them, but they don't use any tools, so it's very, very primitive. And they have, like, I don't know, the clothes that they make themselves and whatever tools they can make themselves. It's all very, very weird. And they kind of just divided between those people that just work and support the main people living in the main house, and which is Hector, and he's, I think, six chosen. He's Hector's wife as well. And one day Hector brings this little girl, and well, she's like, I don't know how old, 10, maybe 11. And he says that she was chosen to save the people together with him. So Hector's kind of waiting until she's 18 so he can marry her and fulfill the prophecy. And in the meantime, this Eden, this girl, she becomes friends with Calder, and you know, they grow close together. They grow in like friendship wise, and then he teaches her about the word, and he teaches her maths and sciences and everything that he knows, because she is only being taught to read and nothing else. And they basically fall in love, and you can imagine, like, you know, it's kind of like hidden, a secret love, because she is promised to be the prophet's wife, a prophet's chosen one, the one that will save the people together with the prophet Hector. So yeah, I'm not even halfway through. This is where I didn't have a bookmark, so well, I have a whole bunch of them over there, but it was too far, so I couldn't get up. I couldn't be bothered to get up and pick one up, so I just bent the corner, which I know it's not very good of me. But yeah, so far so good. Enjoying this book, and yeah, I'll probably catch up with you when, oh my gosh, when I finish. Also, I'm so red and I can't see anything today because I was crocheting a lot today and in this light, and this light is horrible, and I have to make better choices. This light is not good for me. I strained my eyes a lot, and now everything I see is blurry. So yeah, I will catch you when I finish reading this book. As you can see, my hair is slightly darker, and it is because I decided to tone my hair. I didn't like the warm tones that my hair had, so I had this toner at home and I decided to tone it, and I quite like it quite this dark. Anyway, why am I here? I'm here because I have finished reading Becoming Colder by Mia Sheridan, and I don't know, well, I guess it's just something that I've read. I didn't hate this book, but I don't have love for it. So I'm not going to give any spoilers. You can kind of figure out where the plot of this book will go, and that's it. That's pretty much all I have to say about this book. There was a lot of planning. There was a lot of, like, you know, sneaking around. There was few spicy scenes. I enjoyed the first one because I think, you know, we've all been there when we were just, you know, when we had our first time we made love or whatever, and it was kind of like, it was portrayed, it was described really nicely, and I enjoyed that scene. But the rest of the sex scenes I kind of skipped. I don't usually read smart, I don't care for it, so I skipped that. But there was few of them, nothing too horrible. It was kind of like, you know, yeah, it's okay. It's a new adult book, so, you know, you're not gonna get anything like, you know, super dark or super erotic or whatever. But yeah, the few scenes that were there I kind of skipped. I'm not interested, and generally, I don't know. I rated this book 2 stars. For me, it's a book that it's just something that I read. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. Yeah, basically, this is it. I am curious enough to continue with book 2, which is Finding Eden. This is the book that I'm going to pick up next. So I'm going to continue the story. I want to see how the story continues from book 1, because we kind of finished, not on a cliffhanger, but we finished on a situation that needs to be resolved. So I'm kind of curious to see where the story goes, and I'm going to continue. So this is going to be our next read. Finding Eden, Mia Sheridan, and I am not going to read you the synopsis, because if I read you this, then you will know what happened in book 1. I wonder, by reading the synopsis, I'm actually thinking, is book 2 going to be better than book 1? Do you know what? I actually can't believe that these books have such high ratings. I think they are, both of them are more than 4 stars. Let's see. Yeah, so Becoming Colder is 4.2 stars on Goodreads, and Finding Eden nearly 4.3 stars. So I don't know, I feel like these are very, I did like some of Mia Sheridan's. Grayson's Vow and Travis were, I actually really like those books, but I don't think this is my kind of thing. But yeah, I'm curious enough to see how the story continues. I am slightly surprised that they have such ratings, because to me they're kind of like those TikTok books, fast books that you kind of, fast romances that you just kind of read and forget about. So anyway, we shall see. I will chat to you when I've read something, yeah, and I'll let you know how it goes, or not, because obviously I don't want to give any spoilers for book 1. There's that as well. Anyway, I've started another jumper. This is the colors I picked, and yeah, so most of the today is my last day. Tomorrow I'm going to work, so I was catching up on watching YouTube videos, and I was knitting, and this is going to be so nice. I have this color to go after the light lilac or purple, whatever this is, violet, and yeah, so yeah, I'm knitting and watching YouTube, and that's it. I have finished reading Finding Eden by Mia Sheridan, and I'm going to tell you the rating first because I am going to be spoiling this book. So I'm going to tell you the rating and then you can go if you don't want to hear my spoilers, because the spoilers will be about book 1 and book 2. But to be able to talk about this book fully, I have to spoil it. Okay, but spoil both of them. Anyway, so it's a 2-star book for me. And now the spoilers are coming. Okay, so spoilers for book 1 and book 2. So I told you in book 1 we had this cult, and then these people, Calder and Eden and Xander, they managed to escape. But one of the cult members was a policeman, and he managed to track them down, and he brought Eden and Calder back to Arcadia. Eden was supposed to be married to Hector, and Calder was supposed to be punished for trying to escape. Eden and Calder got separated. Calder was first kind of like Hector was going to burn him on a stake, and then they locked him up in a separate basement, separate room in a basement. And Eden was in a different one with Hector and the rest of the people. And the rain came, the river started flooding, and it flooded the basement. But because Calder taught Eden how to float and how to swim in book 1, she kind of knew how to float, and she managed to she managed to survive the flood. Everybody else drowned in that basement, and she managed to survive. And also the whole building collapsed, so she thought Calder had died in there. She managed to get into the city, and the prologue of book 1 is where she's trying to sell this locket in a kind of like a pawn shop, and she breaks a vase, very expensive vase in there, and the woman that takes her locket says it will barely cover the cost of the vase. And so basically Eden now has nowhere to sleep. I can't remember the city they're in. She has nowhere to sleep. She goes outside, goes to the shelter, but it's only a men's shelter. So she sits on the pavement and cries, and this man picks her up, Felix, and he is the owner of that pawn shop, and he says he feels bad because of how this woman treated her, and he takes Eden to his home, which that was kind of like my first I don't know, maybe desperate people like Eden was, maybe they would do stuff like this, but for me it was kind of like a little bit, I don't know, she went there to stay with him, thinking that she will have to give him sexual favors in return for staying in his house. But then he was like, it was an older man, but then he said, oh no, as long as you teach my daughter to play the piano, you can stay here, live here, and I will pay you whatever. So she stays with this Felix and his family for 3 years, then he dies, and upon his death, when the will is being read, there's a letter for Eden from Felix, and in this letter Felix says he's managed to find Eden's mum. And this is my next thing. Why wait 3 years to find her mother when you know what happened? And it's not like, oh, it took 3 years, because it didn't, because he did say in the letter that he started looking few months before he passed away. So why wait? Why wait so long? Also, in the 3 years, Eden didn't even though she told him the story of what happened to her, they didn't try to even, inform the police or get her ID. She has no documents, she has no birth certificates, she literally has nothing. So for 3 years they haven't done anything. Anyway, so he locates her mother and she goes to visit, and straight away mother recognizes her by the locket, because she still has that locket. So she recognizes her by the locket, and Edith moves in the same night. And this is another thing. I know she's got a locket, but I don't know if I would be able to trust someone at face value like this. So I don't know. I would like to think that I would be able to recognize my children, if I was in a similar situation. But also it kind of sounded very unbelievable. So the things that kind of I didn't like is the fact that the Felix, he took her in straight away, and then she just stayed with him for 3 years, no questions asked. Then the fact that he managed to find the mother, and he only started looking a few months before he died. And then the mother, how she accepted straight away that Eden is her own daughter. Then I'm not going to stop here, because I have more complaints when it comes to the mother was treating Eden like a baby all the time, and it was literally pissing me off. There was this garden party that she organized for Eden, and she dressed her like a child. She said, oh, this was your favorite dress when you were a baby. And yeah, I didn't like it, because even though, okay, Eden was taken away from her when Eden was just a little child, she can clearly see it's a grown woman. And the fact that Eden didn't say anything against this, to say I'm not 4, I'm not 5 anymore, I'm a grown woman. Yeah, it was kind of it was a little bit annoying me. So Eden and Calder, they eventually found each other, and very soon in the book, and that's fine. But the thing is, Calder spent the 3 years with Xander, and they were working and they were doing whatever. And what I don't understand, why would you try to stay below the radar and not even, inform the police of the fact that you were involved? And police knew, because there was a massive investigation going on about this whole code thing. So the police knew, police was aware. But so my complaint is, why no one said anything to the police? You would get your IDs, you would be able to locate your real parents or whatever. So these aspects of the books I really didn't like. It was very unbelievable to me. I don't think any person, I don't know, maybe trauma does something to a person and you you don't think straight. But the 3 of them, and even the people that were kind of the third party, no one suggested let's go, because this will help you long term, get your birth certificates, get your I don't know, whatever, IDs and everything. So yeah, it was a little bit disbelievable. The end, I kind of like the end, not the end, but towards the end, when Calder found out who his parents were, it was a little bit of a kind of a shock. I'm not gonna lie, it was nice to read this. I didn't expect that we will also find out who Calder's people were. But the very end, the last couple of chapters, I'd say, kind of felt dragged out, because I felt like we had this really good resolution to the story when they found out everything. When they found out about Hector, when they found out about the parents and everything, the last 2 chapters felt like a very, very long epilogue, and I don't think it was needed. I think I will get a better feeling about this book if it just stopped when we had the resolutions. There was no need for it to kind of continue. So yeah, that's my spoiler filled review. yeah, it's just a 2-star for me. I didn't really like this in duology. I don't know what it is. It's just, I don't think it's just my jam. It's not, but there are people that will probably enjoy this, but for me it was just, yeah, same thing. There was few sex scenes here, which I skipped. I'm not interested. And that's it. That's all I have to say about Finding Eden and Becoming Colder. Hi, I'm back. I have picked up another book. This chunker. Things We Hide from the Light by Lucy Score. This is book 2 in Knock 'em Out series or whatever. There's 3 of them, so I have 2 to read. And my gosh, I never understand, why do we have to have nearly 600 pages in a romance book? What? Yeah, for me, a 300 page for a romance is enough. I have an audiobook for this, so I think I will be mostly listening to this, and then I can read something else, like the other book that I'm reading right now. Right, so in book 1, there was this girl that was supposed to meet her sister in this town, and she got there, and turns out the sister stole her car and left behind her child. So Naomi, she's the good girl. She comes to town to see her sister. I think she runs away from a wedding, she's like a runaway bride or something like this. She gets to this town to meet with her sister. Her sister steals her car, leave her child behind, and then Naomi stays with the kid, and I think she falls in love with this barber Knox, from what I can figure out from here. Right, so in this book it's Lena and Nash, and Nash is a friend of Knox. He's a policeman or a sheriff, from what I can figure out from the back of the book. And Lena just moves in to next door kind of thing. Anyway, so I guess we'll be following Nash in this book, a friend of Knox from book 1. I am so glad I have this as an audiobook. I think both of them I have as an audiobook, because I don't like reading big, thick romances. So anyway, I am going to put my headphones on, and I have something that I need to do on my PC. I need to update my book catalog and my reading list, and then I can listen to this while I do that. So I have been listening to Things We Hide from the Light, and I need to kind of do like a little correction, because I said Nash was a friend of Knox, and they are brothers. So they are brothers. Nash is a chief of the police, and Angelina, she's staying in town temporarily because she's kind of like an insurance agent, but more like a bounty hunter insurance agent. And they know each other because Angelina actually and Knox were seeing each other for a while. Then she moved out to a different city or whatever, so they kind of all know each other. That is the correction that I wanted to do. in terms of a plot, as you can expect, there's not really much happening. You know, it's kind of like they have this banterish type of a relationship. They are attracted to each other, and they turn each other on. There was actually a very funny scene when Angelina was trying to rescue a dog, and she got stuck, and he was helping her to get out from that pipe or whatever, and he was pulling her by the hips, and from the outside it looked as he was like banging her from behind. So the way it was described, it was actually really funny. I listened to this and I chuckled. But I think, you know, this is the third romance book that I will be reading this month, and I feel like it's too much for me. I don't know if I want to continue reading it or listening to it now. I feel like if I was reading it physically, I would probably give up, because yeah, even though I'm having a fun time so far, 20% into a book, I'm not learning anything new, and I'm someone that likes to learn about things, you know, even if like, you know, or just feel something, like I want to feel scared, or I want to feel excited, or I want to learn something. Like with romance book, I don't really learn or feel that much, except, you know, that one scene when that was actually quite funny. So yeah, I'm gonna listen to this, because like I said, I bought this book on Audible. There was kind of like a 2-for-1 offer, so I managed to get those two for 1 credit, or something like this, or some sort of a sale. So I have both of the book 2 and 3 as an audiobook. So I'll feel bad not listening to this and just DNFing it, especially because it's such an easy read via audio, so I'm not even like wasting my eyeballs on this. So I'll probably continue, but I think I come to a conclusion that I'm generally not a romance person. Like, I don't mind it from time to time, but I think I prefer more of a suspense or adventure even, or mystery horror and stuff like that. So that's the update. I am actually feeling so tired. I was going to go for a walk. I might still go for a walk, but yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna listen to Things We Hide from the Light or the other book that I have from the library, which my hold just came through this morning. So we shall see. First I need to eat because I'm hungry. I went to work today and I worked hard as always, and now I feel hungry. So yeah, my food is waiting for me. I'm gonna go eat, and then I guess we'll see where we stand when I finish eating my dinner. I'm just about to go and edit a video. However, I have my camera here and I have the book here, so I might as well give you a very quick update. I have read 200 pages. I'm about a third into a book, 30% into a book. And there's not much. There's literally not much to say. It's a romance. Right, I am going to be quite rude here. So there was a scene where I kind of went like, how did that happen? They were sleeping together, but not like sleeping as like sexually sleeping together. She was just sleeping in his bed because he was sad. And yeah, so she was just sleeping in his bed. And in the morning, she woke up with his dick in between her thighs, touching her clit, and basically she wrapped herself on it, and she had an orgasm. So basically, it's kind of like, I don't know, he was still asleep apparently. I don't know how that will happen. Is it even possible? If there's any guys watching, is that even possible? If a woman rubs yourself on your appendage, would you not feel it even if you were asleep? I'm sure you will. Anyway, so I just found it a little bit strange, this scene. I was kind of like, you know, I was laughing a little bit as well. I am telling you right now, after this book, I don't know if I will have it in me to listen or to read another romance book for a while, because oh my gosh, it's too much, and every one of them is literally the same. Like, do you find that as well, that romance books are all the same? And especially I think when it comes to like a series of romances and stuff, even though they follow different characters, they're all the same. So I think I am not going to read book 3, even though I wanted to, right after I finish this one. And I think I'm going to choose something else, because I feel like I need to reset my brain. I've read 2 Mia Sheridans in this video, and this is the 3rd romance I'm reading for this vlog. And it's a little bit much for my brain cells. So I think I will need to do like the factory reset and pick something else. So yeah, we shall see. There's the only books that are different than romance, that are not romance, is The Diary of a CEO and The Mysterious Case of the Alperton Angels. So I'll see which one I fancy at the moment, at the time, and then we'll go from there. So that's my update. I am going to go. I have a video to edit to hopefully schedule it for like 2 days from now, and yes, that's it from me. Good evening. It's quite late. It's coming to 11:30 at night. It was such a hot day and I want to go to sleep. I'm tired, but I also want to take a shower. But I just wanted to pop in here really quickly and tell you that I have read 374 pages of Things We Hide from the Light. This is 34 chapters via audio, and this much. I have this much left. And unfortunately, I decided to DNF it. So I'm DNFing book 2 and book 3. I am not going to read book 3. I literally couldn't care less about the characters in this book. Both of them seem so full of aggression towards each other, but also attraction as well. And in 375 pages, it didn't lead to anything. There are some other background stories going on. Lena, she is an insurance agent, but she's kind of like a acid retrieval person. And so she's doing her investigations in the background. And then Nash, also him being a sheriff, he's investigating some crime as well. Someone shot him. So he's doing his investigations. So all this is happening in the background and all the stuff happening between them. But I feel like there's nothing really happening. We are going round and round in circles. And it's just like, I honestly could not care less. I'm not... I don't know how to explain it. I literally... You know, when you enjoy the book, you want to pick it up and you want to read it. And for me, it's just like, whatever. Like, I basically don't care. There's no other way around it. So I am DNFing this. I need to take my bookmark out. And I am DNFing Things We Hide. Things We Left Behind as well. These 2 books, which kind of leaves me with 1.5 books read in this series. This is going to be the same because all of these books are the same, and I kind of don't want to read it. Like, I just couldn't care less. So what I want to do now is pick up a book that is not a romance, because the other books I have on my shelves is the non-fiction, The Diary of a CEO, and then I have The Mysterious Case of the Alperton Angels, and I have the whole Chestnut Spring series. I think it's Chestnut Spring series. Romance again. I am so not in the mood to read romance. Not at all. So I have picked up The Mysterious Case of the Alperton Angels. I'm hoping this will read quick, because this is kind of like series of interviews and emails and exchanges, and it's to do with some quote or something. So this is what I'll be picking up. my library has that as well, and I downloaded it on my Kobo, which means I should be able to read it hopefully quick. But yeah, the other 2 books I will be unhauling. I have no more brain power left to read romance. I'm excited for so many other books, but not for these guys, and I am not going to waste my time on something that I literally just, yeah, couldn't care less. So Janice Hallett it is. Janice Hallett, The Mysterious Case of the Alperton Angels. I bought this in a charity shop actually, and it is signed as well. Signed with pen, which is lovely. So I don't know if it was someone went to a book signing or something, no idea, but yeah, it was a charity shop pickup. So yeah, we'll see. I've never read anything from this author. I know one of the booktubers that I follow, Megan, she actually reads quite a lot of Janice Hallett. So yeah, we shall see. I'm so tired. I need to go to sleep. Sunday, 8th of June, and I haven't got the book on me. It's upstairs. I'm reading on my Kobo The Mysterious Case of the Alperton Angels, and about 49% in. About halfway through the book. So I read on my Kobo, I read at work, and then when I'm at home upstairs, I have that book at my bed, by my bed, and I read at bedtime. And to be honest, in the beginning, I wasn't sure about this book, because this book, there is no narration. This book is literally told in the transcript from interviews, WhatsApp messages, emails, and letters and little notes and everything. Also, there's like few chapters, few draft chapters from the book that the main character is writing. And I wasn't convinced about this book. I don't know, I just felt like I didn't want to read it. I felt like it was too much work, because I felt like I had to put all the story together by myself, and I didn't want that. I want someone else to tell me the story. However, 50% into the book, I'm enjoying it. And I tell you what I enjoy also. Alperton is a suburb of London, is one of those areas in northwest London, and it's not very far from me. And I always said I love books that are happening in the places that I actually know. There are a few scenes that are happening in Harrow, where I live, and I'm kind of like in between Harrow and Stanmore, but there are a few scenes in the places that I know. There was this scene from, I think it's called the Dolls Cafe or something like this, and it is this tiny little coffee shop in Harrow on the Hill, and oh my gosh, it's like, it's just so cute. So anyway, so there was this one scene in the shop, happening in the shop, and I feel like, because I read about places that I know, I think it makes me feel a little bit more involved in this book, even though I think I generally prefer narration than, you know, just, you know, different bits and pieces of different media put together. I'm having a good time. I'm reading. I'm positive. I have positive feelings about this book, and I know I'm going to finish it. Will I pick anything else by Janice Hallett? I don't know. We shall see. I'm not sure if all her books are like this. But yeah, so far so good. I thought I'll give you a quick update, because I don't think I have a lot. I didn't really have a lot to say about the other two books that I was reading. So at least I will tell you something about this one. So far, so good.
Thought I was losing who I call myself today in this world of illusions. Didn't dare to.
Guys, I have finished reading The Mysterious Case of the Alperton Angels by Janice Hallett, and I think I mentioned to you before that I actually never read anything like this before. This book is basically mixed media. So in the beginning I was a little bit confused because I always thought I like a clear narration in my books, and this one didn't have that. So we literally found out the entire plot of the book. We uncovered the entire mystery as well by reading the messages, by following the exchanges and the transcripts and all that. Okay, so let me just quickly give you a synopsis of this book. There's this journalist, Andrea Bailey, and she's working with another journalist, Oliver Menzies, and they are trying to discover who was the baby that was going to be sacrificed in this cult, the Alperton Angels, 18 years prior. So they do the interviews, they visit different places, they speak to different people, and the plot of it is to discover the mystery of who the baby was, who the mother was, who the father was, what happened to them, etc., etc. In the beginning, like I said, the format of this book, the mixed media format of this book, I just couldn't get into it. But the more I was reading, the more interested I got and more engaged I found myself in this book. I ended up enjoying it. I think what the bonus for me was the fact that this whole book is set in northwest London, where I live, and the places mentioned in this book were familiar to me. So I always enjoy reading books like that when I actually been and I can imagine myself and I can imagine the whole situation playing out in that given area. So I didn't like, I felt like the ending was a little bit dragged out, and I was kind of like, I was just like flipping the pages like, come on, like I want this to end now. I found it, this ending was a bit long and a bit unnecessary to me. I think I would be happy with the conclusion without the last part of this book. So I rated this book 4 stars. I will not be keeping this, I don't think, because I don't see myself rereading this again, and I don't think my daughter will enjoy this book either. So yeah, so that's book number 5 in this episode of my self-destructing books. Okay, so let's do a quick recap of all the books that I have read in this episode, and we'll start with Becoming Colder by Mia Sheridan. And it wasn't anything special. It was a romance book, young adult, kind of like a new adult book. Boy and girl fall in love, only they are part of a cult as well, and the girl is promised to become a wife of the cult reader. So you can imagine what's going on. I rated this book 2 stars. I didn't really enjoy it. I found it a little bit boring and a bit repetitive as well. And then that was followed up by Finding Eden by Mia Sheridan, and this is book 2 in this duology. I didn't enjoy this one. I felt like it was overworked, like the author come up with every single possible situation that you can find interesting and put that in the book, and it was just I rated this 2 stars because there was parts of the book that I enjoyed and I was interested in finding out, especially about Hector and who Calder's parents were. But generally this is the only reason this book got 2 stars from me. Otherwise it would be a 1-star book, and yeah, it was dragged out, it was repetitive, and it was very, very unbelievable. I didn't like it at all. And then the third book I've read or I tried reading in this episode, was Things We Hide from the Light by Lucy Scott, and this is book 2 in Knock 'Em Out series, in Knock 'Em Out trilogy, and I DNF'd this book, I think, at 375 pages this far in. I just found it boring, uninteresting, unengaging, and why doing it 600 pages for a romance book? It was just nothing new to me, and I don't know, I just decided I don't want to waste my time reading this book. And that kind of followed up with another DNF, Things We Left Behind, and this is the last book in Knock 'Em Out trilogy by Lucy Scott. I didn't even start reading this. I think if I didn't have the audiobook for this one, I don't think I would even get this far. And even though I had an audiobook for this one as well, I just couldn't put myself through this again. I just find them boring and too long for what they are. No, I don't think these are the books for me. So we had 2 DNFs. And then the last book I've read is obviously The Mysterious Case of the Alpeton Angels, and I've given you my review and you know how it went. So these are the books that I have read and attempted to read in this episode. That's another 5 books of my self-destructing trolley. I think there is 6 books left on that one, which brings my number down to 6 from 25. That's 19 books I've managed to get through from this trolley, and it makes me super happy, because if it wasn't for this self-destructing trolley and this project, I would probably not even look twice at these books. So at least I know I'm at least trying them and attempting to read them, and it makes me very, very happy, because like I said, this one I wouldn't even pick up, and I ended up really enjoying it. So this is it from me. I think this was episode 4. I never remember which episode we're on. I think this is episode 4. Thank you very much for hanging out with me and trying to read all these books. Keep an eye out for hopefully the last episode of this series. We shall see. I don't know when it's gonna happen, but it is going to happen, because I am going to at least attempt reading the books that I have left on my trolley. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the upcoming episodes from me. And as part of my usual goodbyes, please don't forget to like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next one.